Bonjour à tous. Alors j'attends un petit peu qu'il y ait du monde, mais en gros je vais travailler sur ce couteau là. Je suis au grain 1000 là pour l'instant. Et en fait j'aimerais bien travailler un petit peu dans les détails là. Et je pense que ce serait intéressant de vous montrer un petit peu ce qui se passe au grain 1000. Hi everyone, I'm working on that nice Giotto, and I'm about 1K grit right now. Salut la forge manilier. And the idea is to show you a little bit what's happening about 1K. It's not meaning that I'm not gonna go down maybe. But I will just show you what's happening with the 1K and what I am dealing to make the bevel as precise and as even as I can. Let's talk about maybe that side. So let me show you a little bit the bevel if I can. Okay, let's dry a little bit. Okay. So most of it is quite okay, but as you can see, there is always some little lighter color here, which are a little overground, and I need to clean that and to make it as clear as possible, because if I don't work those little spots up there, now with my last stones, with the final stone, I won't be able to work with them. So at the 1K, I'm working with two stones. This is Naniwa Shozera 1K, and it's a great fast stone, but it's quite soft. And this one is actually Geshin 1K. Geshin is sold by Japanese knife import, but no need to go to Japanese knife import if you're not in USA, of course. I mean, if you are in Europe, for example, the Buster 2K is very similar. Okay, so I got this, and let's work with the 1K Buster or Geshin, and this stone is harder. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna show me far better where the bevel touch and where it's not touching. And once I will have a sort of map of what I have, I can then solve the little problems. So here I have put my bevel quite flat on the stone, and I have let the stone work. And as I can see, there is no too much, but there is still those little details that can be worked a little bit more. So I have worked longitudinal. I'm going to work a little bit more perpendicular, and I'm going to try to reach those spots with this 1K. Actually, it's a 2K Bester. And working more diagonal, I'm going to hit this shinogi more frontally, because if I'm working longitudinal, I can tend to roll on my shinogi, because when I'm working longitudinal, you can always roll a little bit on your shinogi. When you're working diagonal, you can only hit on it. All right, you can also roll if you do that, if you roll on it, but if you keep your blade steady, you will hit the shinogi properly. Okay, so what I can see is that all the blades need a little bit more grind. Again, if you have questions, be welcome. So all the blades need a little bit more grind, so I need to work a little bit slowly, meaning not moving my blade too much, but working centimeter after centimeter. And my pressure is along the shinogi. This way, my stone can touch the highest point, grind them, and so I will be able to reach those lower spots which are overgrind. Okay. Okay, let me show you. You have to check how the light is going on the bevel, and if there is something not clear along the shinogi and you want it clear, you need to work that place, and you need to actually grind your bevel a little bit more so it reach those points. If you have overgrind too much, that means that to reach those spots you will have a lot of work. You will have to go back to 400 or 200 grits, and maybe they won't be even possible to reach, and sometimes it's even faster to repolish a little bit the kurushi or the nashiji finish instead of just grinding your bevel over and over. What is great with the Buster 2K or the Geishin 2K is that it can burnish. That means that it's not doing a Kasumi finish, but it's really burnishing your bevel. That means that you have all clear, and if you see some darker area, it means that the stone is not touching. So you can really have a great view of what you're doing with those stones. So it's always good, even if you have done a proper job with the 400 or the 600, to do another check at the 1K, so you be sure that the bevel is set properly. And if you feel that there is too much work to do, you have to go back to 400. Et donc en français, j'essaye de faire les lives un petit peu avec les deux langues, je vais essayer en tout cas. Donc ce que je suis en train de faire, c'est de former mon biseau. Et là je suis sur la pierre 1000 ou 2000. J'utilise deux pierres. Juste avant j'utilisais une pierre qui était avec un grain 1000 mais beaucoup plus tendre. La Chosera 1000. Et là j'utilise une 2000 qui est beaucoup plus dure. Et du coup vu qu'elle est plus dure, elle a beaucoup plus de possibilités pour me montrer si la pierre elle touche proprement le biseau ou si au contraire il y a certains endroits dont la pierre a du mal un petit peu à toucher. Et tous ces endroits où la pierre ne touchera pas bien, ça voudra dire qu'il va falloir ou soit forcer pour qu'il y ait un contact avec les pierres de finition. Et ça c'est pas toujours le plus terrible parce que généralement si on force on obtient un fini un petit peu irrégulier. soit ça veut dire qu'il faudra redescendre plus tard à des pierres un petit peu plus grossières et reformer le biseau proprement. Donc là je suis pas mal et mon shinogi commence à avoir une tête un peu correcte. J'ai quelques petites taches, mais à un moment donné il faudra faire un compromis. Si je veux pas bouffer mon biseau encore et encore et passer des heures et des nuits, et bien, il y aura peut-être des petits détails qui mériteraient d'être polis différemment. Voilà, c'est la vie. Mais voilà, le biseau sera bien formé en lui-même. Et il vaut mieux un biseau proprement formé, même avec des petites impuretés sur le kuroshi, qu'un biseau qui soit finalement en permanence en train d'essayer de nettoyer ces petits détails-là, mais qui finalement soit pas bien régulier. Days of our knives. After 1K synthetic, do you proceed to natural stones? No, I don't. I'm doing a full progression on my knives, and I got, for example, I got the Natsuya, I got then the Mikawa Nagura, and I got the Kasabori. So I got some mid-grits naturals, but to be honest, I'm not using them that much. And when I'm using them, it's for a certain purpose precisely, to bring details or to erase some scratches in a progression to go just down slightly on those natural and then to go up. My progression after the 1K or 2K will be Shozera 3K and then Naniwa Super 3K. Then I sometimes use the Naniwa Super 5K because they are great for polishing the hot steel. And when all is clean and at best, I would jump to a natural, but I will use, for example, this one, which is one of my best, and this is unknown Tomae, quite soft, super fast. So it's doing a great job everywhere to erase all the synthetic scratches. And so I got a new bevel with only natural scratches on it, and then I can go to finer stones. So now my bevel with the 2K is pretty good. I'm gonna check everything is good before going to the 3K. Okay. And each time I can see some not even color on my bevel. It's quite hard to show you, but for example on my heel there is some different type of color, and on the tip there is a little bit of difference of color in, compared to the center, which is quite an even color. When there is a different color, it means that the bevel is not really perfectly even. When you reach a step where all the bevel is really great, nice, even color, it means that you have your bevel set. Hi, I'm fine. So let's work a little bit on the tip so I can have all set good. Tip is always tricky because you tend to overgrind a little bit, so you need to keep your gesture and control what you're doing. Okay. Okay, and it's better and better, so it's good. And something that most people don't understand when they polish knives is that everything is going fast at the beginning because you are erasing some low spots, so you are hitting some very high spots, and you have so little surface to work, and it's going fast at the beginning. But once you reach a clean bevel, to work those little details is the longest. That's why, if possible, it's better to not to do too much mistakes when you're doing arato, when you're doing the setting of your bevel, when you are working with the core stones. Any mistakes with the core stones, and you will have a lot of work to save that. That's why stone polishing is difficult. It's at a certain level, you don't want to make too much mistakes, because if you do too much mistakes, you can overgrind, and sometimes you will not have the material you wanted to have for your knife. So you have taken too much. How is your name? He 30 birdie. He say that he's buying more knives so he can do rotation, and so he don't have to sharpen too much his knives, and so he can avoid thinning the knives. It's a possibility actually. You can buy knives so you have enough knives to do rotation, and you will never have to sharpen them. But the idea is of working on stones, and my work is about also economy. And economy is with one knife, how to maintain it and to make it work the longest possible. And of course, if you have to thin or to polish, you will scratch the blade, but at a certain level, you can solve problems you had on your knives, and your knives will be working better, and also will be easier to maintain. So what I'm showing here, it's more about how you should care about your knives, making a nice clean bevel on them. And so when you have a nice bevel, then you will have easy maintenance to do and beautiful polish at the end. Okay, so I still got some weird things on the heel, so I'm working the heel, and if one way of polishing is not giving me enough information, I will cross my scratches, and this will give me another type of information about my bevel. So if you have if you don't have a clear view about what is actually happening on your bevel, just cross your scratches, and the way the stone touch will show you where are the high spots. It's true that sharpening and maintaining your knives, it's not that easy, and my way of doing it is to do it with a polish aim, and that is something difficult, because I want to be able to play with hard natural stones. But you can lower a little bit your expectation. You can set the bevel as clean as you can today, thin it and make it proper and clean without too much low spots, and you will do a finish maybe 1K or something like that, or you can even finish with the finger stones and stone powder, and in the end you will have a good bevel, and you don't have to work too much on the polishing issue. Okay. So this side is not too bad. I need to work a little bit the tip. Still again. Every time I'm doing that, I'm flattening the stone, but I'm also refreshing the stone so it casts a little bit faster. Donc oui, il y avait une des personnes là pendant le live qui me dit qu'il achète plein de couteaux et du coup ça lui permet de pas avoir à trop les affûter et donc à pas devoir un jour les reprendre à plat, c'est-à-dire les désépaissir à la pierre et tout ça, parce que un, ce serait long, et de deux, ce serait aussi une façon de rayer le couteau. Au bout d'un moment, on serait obligé de rayer le couteau un petit peu. Moi, mon point de vue là-dessus, c'est que j'essaye de faire des couteaux qui justement sont fabriqués dès le départ pour pouvoir être affûtés facilement, pour pouvoir être entretenus facilement dans le futur. Le travail à la pierre, pour moi, c'est vraiment ça. Vu qu'on a une surface régulière, l'affûtage se fera de façon régulière dans le temps, il n'y aura pas de choses bizarres, il n'y aura pas de creux qui vont se former ou des trucs comme ça. Et si on veut un petit peu repolir ou affiner le couteau, tout est installé déjà propre, régulier, pour que l'utilisateur n'ait pas à se casser la tête trop et juste à suivre la forme du biseau que j'ai formé au préalable, quoi. L'idée, c'est aussi de travailler en quelque sorte dans l'économie, c'est-à-dire que pour moi, acheter à chaque fois un couteau plutôt que l'affûter, c'est essayer d'éviter d'apprendre quelque chose. Et là, c'est un peu la facilité en quelque sorte, quoi. Et à un moment donné, il faut réussir à conceptualiser dans sa tête, à comprendre que les couteaux, c'est des outils, comme un ciseau à bois, et que ces outils-là, ils s'usent. Et si un jour ils s'usent trop, il va falloir les raffûter, leur redonner la forme qui devait être la leur. Et en fait, il y a même des gens qui parfois, une fois qu'ils sont à peu près bons affûteurs, ils achètent un couteau et tout de suite, même avant de s'en servir quasiment, ils vont l'affûter proprement comme eux ils aimeraient l'avoir, quoi. Parce qu'encore une fois, un couteau c'est un outil. Et évidemment que parfois on ne peut pas fabriquer son couteau soi-même, mais ça ne veut pas dire que parfois on n'a pas envie de l'affûter légèrement différemment du fabricant pour l'avoir vraiment comme nous on aime l'avoir, comment nous on travaille. Okay, so I got my bevel set on one side. I'm gonna work on the other one. So I'm doing just a session working along the shinogi and see what's happening. And with the bevel color and the scratches, I can have some information and say, okay, this needs more work. Here is a high spot, here is a low spot. So after the 1K, I should be able to speed up the process and go fast on the 3K and then go to the naturals. If all is set, normally the progression will be fast. But of course there is surprises and I'm working my skills so I can find less and less surprises in the Path Factory. And when I finish working on the stone, be almost sure that I won't have to grab it again. Alors il y a une question en français, Juan Le Démé, un truc comme ça, Juan de l'Emave qui me pose la question: est-ce que ça a été difficile de se lancer dans la coutellerie et est-ce que tu as appris seul? Pour moi, ça n'a quand même pas été trop difficile. J'ai eu de la chance, j'ai eu beaucoup de chance. déjà j'ai pu rencontrer des personnes super qui ont bien voulu m'apprendre un petit peu ce qu'ils avaient appris eux-mêmes et qui ont bien voulu partager. Deuxièmement, j'ai eu mes parents qui ont pu me laisser un local où j'ai pu m'installer et où j'ai pu installer des machines et travailler relativement rapidement. Et ensuite, dans un troisième point, eh ben, j'ai fait aussi pendant 8 ans 6 mois de ferronnerie par an, c'est-à-dire moitié je faisais de la coutellerie, mais je faisais aussi moitié de la ferronnerie. Et du coup, avec ces deux métiers-là, ben, j'arrivais à peu près à m'en sortir. Là où je dirais que si j'avais fait que de la coutellerie dès le départ, ça aurait été quand même un petit peu plus difficile. Surtout que les couteaux de cuisine, c'est un domaine un petit peu particulier et spécial. Les clients sont pas si faciles à trouver. Par exemple, sur les salons du couteau, ben, j'arrivais pas à trouver ma clientèle exactement comme je voulais. Finalement, c'est grâce à Internet que j'ai pu trouver ma clientèle le mieux. Et du coup, ben, si j'avais fait que les couteaux au début et essayer de vendre sur les salons du couteau, j'avoue que ça aurait été un petit peu difficile. Et je l'ai fait, je m'en sortais pas trop mal, mais c'était pas évident. Mais voilà, après petit à petit, et puis grâce à la ferronnerie, ben, j'arrivais à avoir un équilibre. Et là, depuis 2020, début 2020 ou fin 2019, un truc comme ça, et ben, j'ai décidé d'arrêter d'arrêter la ferronnerie et de faire plus que des couteaux. Et en fait, eh ben, ça s'est très bien passé parce que ben, vu que j'avais plus de temps aussi pour faire des couteaux, j'ai pu améliorer vachement mes couteaux et faire du travail beaucoup plus propre qu'avant. Et du coup, j'ai pu toucher d'autres clients et j'ai rencontré voilà, beaucoup de clients qui apprécient les détails de mon travail, quoi. Et du coup, non, j'ai pas appris seul. J'ai fait bien sûr beaucoup de tests tout seul à l'atelier, d'efforts pour réussir à comprendre qu'est-ce qui se passait pas, qu'est-ce qui allait pas, comment je fais pour avoir ça, comment je fais pour fabriquer ça. Ça, il y en a eu plein à l'atelier. Mais heureusement, j'ai quand même rencontré beaucoup de gens et à chaque fois, les personnes ont bien voulu m'apprendre des choses et partager. So the question in French was about was it hard to be a blacksmith and did I learn alone my job? And my answer was like I'm blacksmith for 11 years now, and at the beginning I was doing ironworks with the knives, so I was doing half ironworks and half knives. And this was really helpful to save my job and to make some money in different ways so I could secure my job. And the second thing is that my parents, they could give me a place to work straight away. So that was super helpful. And the third thing is that, yeah, I met a lot of people who were very nice to me and who share their knowledge with me. And all those people teach me few things, few details about how to work. And so every time I had a question, I could find some people to help me. So yeah, I didn't learn all by myself, but I learned a lot with peoples, and then I was in my workshop alone and doing my experiences, and when I was stuck or I have a big question, I always could ask again those people, so that was great. Je crois que j'ai vu une question. Donc il y a une question qui est si je devais conseiller une pierre pour l'entretien général du couteau l'entretien quotidien. Pour l'entretien quotidien, une seule pierre, c'est pas facile, mais je dirais que du coup ce serait une pierre dans les grains 2000. Si tu veux prendre qu'une seule pierre, avec un grain voilà entre 1000 et 3000, mais bon, c'est pas facile une seule, hein. Voilà, une pierre en gros 1000, ça te permet d'affûter ton couteau au quotidien et en ayant un bon compromis entre que ça soit pas trop grossier et pas trop non plus fin, parce que si c'est trop fin, et bien sur certains couteaux, tu auras trop de travail pour affûter ton couteau. Et si c'est trop grossier, bah, sur certains couteaux qui sont très fins, tu vas user trop ton couteau trop vite, quoi. À mon avis, pour l'entretien général du couteau, il faut pouvoir travailler avec un strop en cuir directement en cuisine. Donc ça veut dire que dans ta cuisine, il faut coller un morceau de cuir à un bout de bois et avoir tout le temps ce cuir-là en cuisine. Et quand tu as besoin de remettre ton fil un petit peu plus droit et de refaire couper le couteau, tu utilises ce strop, voilà, tu frottes le couteau dessus et ça te permet de redresser le fil et de l'avoir un petit peu poli et de le garder toujours affûté. Une fois que le strop ne fait plus le travail, c'est-à-dire que le strop et en quelque sorte il a une certaine efficacité mais il ne pourra pas résoudre tous les problèmes. Et ben, une fois que le strop n'a plus son effet, et ben là tu utiliseras ta pierre la plus fine. Donc ça veut dire que ben, si tu n'as qu'une seule pierre, et ben, tu réutiliseras ta pierre par exemple grain 1000 et tu réaffûteras ton couteau légèrement sans trop appuyer, juste pour remettre un fil propre, et voilà, faire un entretien courant sur ton couteau. Et de là, à partir de ton fil qui sera affûté grain 1000, et ben, tu pourras retourner à ta cuisine et avec ton strop, et tu pourras entretenir ton fil avec ton strop. So, for example, this side is more difficult, and the color is not perfectly even. For me, it looks like the bevel around here, it's too high. There is too much material, and so my stone, every time it's getting there, it's hitting a little bit more strongly and burnish a little bit, and so I don't have something even enough. To make it clear and good, I'm gonna go back to a 600 grit stone. So this is Naniwa. It's a hard whetstone, but it's faster than a Buster 2K. And with that stone, I will be able to erase a little bit that eye spot. So sometimes you don't have a low spot actually on your knife. You erased all the low spots you have, but actually sometimes you have too much material and you have to actually erase a high spot to make the bevel even and the stone touch smoothly all along the bevel. One of the best way to make those details and to work your bevel as good as you can is to put less pressure on your bevel. So it's only about how the stone touch and not anymore about how you put your pressure on the knife. Yeah, it's always faster to take a decision and say, okay, it's not clear enough, it's not good enough, go back to 600 and you will be 3 times faster than just keeping on your 2K. Yeah, completely. What is written in comments is that thank you for sharing, and that the knowledge on stones is always hard to learn when you're alone, and because it's a lot of trial, test, and error and frustration. So I'm very glad to share a little bit about that. I think the subject is very not enough talked about. There is a lot of information about maybe sharpening a chisel for the wooden chisels, but working knives like that is something people are not used to do, and most people would say that it's not for the user to do this, but only a maker. I'm not completely sure about that. Lord of the Spoons, I'm not sure I understand your comment. Hi Cruzeiro Fajas, very glad to do the live too. Okay, so I get a better color. I still got some work to do, and to reach the tip I feel that there is some little uneven things, so I don't put a lot of pressure. It's really I'm letting the stone work, so I can really see what is happening. Salut Vince. Yeah, to be completely honest, polishing a knife or sharpening a white bevel on a knife is very much more complicated than on a chisel. If you talk about just shaping the bevel, it's more complex because angles are changing a lot, and there is curves, and it's difficult. Other difficulty with the chisel is to be super strict and be dead flat, and get to reach like a super fine grit at the end, and that the stone touch perfectly with an even surface. So it's other problems. But yeah, shaping a knife is very difficult because a knife is a blade which is changing all along its length. So you really have to understand how it is made, how you want it to be, and then to work the blade so you can have it the way you want. Okay, looks like that there is a little bit too steep of a changing angle at the tip. So I'm trying to make it a little bit smoother, and I'm trying to work on the high spots. So my pressure is on the high spots. Yeah, you're right, because most of the people would use the finger stones and don't work properly their bevels. And in the end, before aesthetic, working nicely a bevel with an even surface will be good for the use of the knife, even before polishing aspects. So fingerstone can put you a bit in a lazy way, but fingerstone are just amazing tool for polishing, and I advise people to use them when they go to their natural, and if the finish is not perfectly even, you can finally take your fingerstone. Maybe next time you will do better shaping, and you can still today use your fingerstone and have a nice finish, and they are very useful for that. There is a reason that swab polisher use them, of course. And this is Naniwa Pro 600, yeah. Ok, I think I'm good. Alors Vince, mon atelier il est dans le nord du Tarn. Je suis entre Albi et Villefranche-de-Rouergue. À environ 1h15 de Toulouse. So this is Naniwa 1K. This stone at a 1K is used to go erasing fast the 600 grit scratches. And the second thing is good about blending. When you work with hard stones, you are making different facets and angles. So there are the different angles and facets that make the bevel knives, the knives of the bevel, sorry. So with a softer stone, you can blend a little bit all those angles and have a nice shape overall. Okay. So I'm starting with a more perpendicular scratches direction. Okay, and you can see that way how much that stone can erase a 600, for example. Naniwa 400 is amazing. I use it every day and a lot. It's an amazing stone, and I can advise it for sure. So I'm working with a little bit more diagonal now for the shinogi, but as much perpendicular as I can, so I can really see that the scratches are different from the 600, so I'm sure about erasing them. Now I got something okay good. I'm gonna align, so I'm working longitudinal for the edge, and I'm aligning the edge and making a little bit of nice convexity, and also blending the different angles, which are at the heel, in the middle, and then at the tip. light pressure. So here I'm working really at the edge. Because I'm not working too much at the shinogi, you see I'm going fast because there's a little bit less precision maybe to have toward the edge. The harder part is really the shinogi. Donc il y a Vince qui demande combien de temps je passe sur les pierres. À mon goût, beaucoup trop. Non, je passe beaucoup de temps quand même sur les pierres parce que je suis encore à un stade dans mon travail et dans mon apprentissage où je veux arriver à un stade très élevé. C'est-à-dire que je veux obtenir une finition vraiment nickel et je veux obtenir un biseau propre sur mes couteaux le mieux que je peux et tout ça. Et vu que ça prend du temps d'apprendre et de comprendre et de pratiquer, il est long le temps sur les pierres. Et du coup, pour répondre à ta question, plus précisément, ce genre de couteau qui fait environ 24 cm, 25 cm, et du coup il y a deux biseaux, hein, donc voilà, il y a 50 cm de biseaux à polir. Dans le meilleur des cas, je mets 4 heures. Et dans le pire des cas, j'en mets 8. Voilà. Donc c'est à peu près ça. The question was how much time I'm spending on each knife on stones, and yeah, my answer is too much. Well, not too much because I think it's good time spending on stones, of course, but it's true that it's very long, and sometimes I wish I could save 1 hour, 2 hours. So yeah, the question was how much time, and to do all the progression from 200 grit to the final natural stone, the best is about 4 hours, and the worst for 24 millimeter Giotto, 24 centimeters, sorry, the worst will be 8 hours, so between 4 to 8. Of course, when I'm doing a live like that, you can be sure that it will be more 8 than 4, because talking, of course. But yeah, it's a long time. I'm still learning, and I don't think at the end you can do a perfect, clean job in only with an hour. It's a long process. Okay, I still got some little burnish area along the shinogi. One is here. I think you can see that. This is a high spot too. I'm gonna try to erase it with the harder stone, and if possible, I will then go to the 3K. So yeah, try to feel where the stone is touching and how is it touching. Is it touching smoothly, or is it touching hardly, or is it not touching? You have to feel that. And it's always also good to go from heel to tip and then tip to heel. Very different behavior, very different change of the way the stone touch. Okay. close to be good, but it's true that on that side the angles are quite hard, quite difficult. They change a little bit faster than the other one. Yeah, the sound is very important. Sometimes I put music, but I often have to stop the music and hear the sound. Okay. I think I should be good for the 1K. Okay, very close. And at that time, if you hurry and you go to the 3K too fast, you will not solve the problem and you will actually hit the problem again and again and again. Shaping your bevel is really about doing the best work you can do and set your bevel as clean as you can with the first tone. And once you have done a great job with the first one, the second is giving you a more subtle, fine view, and then you can do a better job and make some adjustment to have your bevel set to a more subtle way. And then you go to the next tone that will give you again a way to erase scratches, but also set your bevel even better. Of course, most of the work is done with the first one, but until you reach like maybe 3K or 5K, you're still working a little bit on your bevel. Yeah. Okay, I'm almost set, I think. Okay. So now the bevel is well shaped with the 2K, and I should be good going to the 3K now. Okay. So this is the shape of the bevel. As you can see, it can be still more blended, but there is no too much trouble. It's all good. Okay. All the little, how you say that? All the little stripes you can see is about the different bevels, the different angles and facets that composed my bevel. And because this is hard stone, you can see it very well. When you will use a softer stone, you will blend them. So let's clean a little bit more. I'm going to put my knife here. when I'm working with the 3K, it means that normally I should not go back, or at least I don't like it. I've done my best from now. I have done all the progression to 200 to 2K. If the work is not good enough right now, I should have go back. Normally, if I'm grabbing the 3K, it's to go to the finish. Merci beaucoup, Charles. Et ben avec plaisir de partager un peu, surtout que ça se fait pas trop. Donc voilà, avec plaisir de le partager et de continuer un petit peu ces lives. Je vais essayer d'en faire comme ça un peu de temps en temps. Mon objectif final, ce serait de faire un rendez-vous en fait. J'ai ça en tête. J'aimerais bien fixer genre le dernier mardi du mois ou le dernier jeudi du mois, un truc comme ça. Et voilà, on se retrouverait tous à une heure donnée, je sais pas moi, à 5-6 heures ou un truc comme ça. Et du coup, on ferait voilà, on ferait un live, une discussion sur les pierres, sur l'affûtage et tout ça. Et voilà, chacun arriverait, pourquoi pas avec leurs pierres, et puis voilà, on affûte ensemble. Enfin, ouais, bref, un truc dans le genre, un rendez-vous, quoi. Eh bien, je vais sauvegarder le live, et du coup, tu pourras regarder le live plus tard. Okay, so 3K is set and I got my bevel quite clean. So I'm gonna first erase some scratches and work with the convexity, and then I will do longitudinal to align and polish the bevel to 3K. So if everything is set, I will go to the next one and again and again and again. Allez, salut Charles! So, okay, first the scratches were longitudinal or little diagonal, and now I'm working perpendicular. Perpendicular on the edge, working, touching the edge, and touching the few millimeters before the edge, sorry. Okay, nice. So now I'm working the bevel up above the edge, close to shinogi, and I'm working quite diagonal so I can see what I'm doing, and I can see that I'm erasing the previous scratches. It will also give me information about the bevel, but as I said before, normally the bevel is set and it should be any trouble. So as you can see, the bevel color is very even. And the stone is soft, so it's helping for touching the bevel smoothly. Okay, looks good. So now I'm working longitudinal on the edge. So crossing the scratches, I can really see what I'm doing, and I can be sure that the previous scratches from the 1K are erased. Second thing I'm doing is blending too. Blending is about the different facets that I have on my knife and working a little bit diagonal but longitudinal almost with a twist wrist movement, I can blend a little bit the facets. So it's like that, little like that. Okay, it looks good. Okay. And it looks okay. Heel is difficult and tip is difficult. Okay, this side is not too bad. Changing the side, working perpendicular just before the edge on the hard steel. That way I can be sure to erase the previous scratches on the hard steel. That is most important, because hard steel can't leave some deeper scratches, and if you reach your final stone and you have a bigger scratches, you will not be able to erase that. You will have to go back to at least 3K and sometimes lower. Okay, little bit diagonal but almost perpendicular on the bevel above the edge, close to shinogi. Okay, doesn't look too bad. So again, if you have questions about the stonework, I'm happy to share, to discuss about it. Here I'm at 3K and I'm trying to have a cleanest bevel as possible. So I was working diagonal, almost perpendicular, and now I'm going to work longitudinal, a little bit diagonal, but almost longitudinal, so I can align everything and have a polished bevel with the 3K. So here I'm working more with the edge, on the edge part. And my wrist is moving again, like this, like this, like this. So I can move with the convexity of the knife if your movements don't follow the convexity, you will create facets. And actually, now you have all set your knife, your bevel, and your bevel is convex. You need to work that convexity in your gesture. Some part of the bevel are flat, some are convex. If you want to work that flat part, you can have a flat gesture. But if you're working on a convexity, you have to have a convex, toward convex gesture. Okay, good. So this was the Chosera 3K Naniwa. And this is the Naniwa Superstone 3K. Company that are making stones. They make a batch of stones to work together. They write some grit on the box, like 3K, 1K, 400, 6K. It depends of the size of the particle they put in the stone, but actually they have no obligation to put actually especially some particular size of particle if they write 3K, and they are not obliged to put only 3K in the stone, and often they do a mixture actually of different grit in the same stone. Sometimes it's very close to be the same grit, but sometimes there is quite some difference. So sometimes you grab a stone that should be 8K and it behave a little bit like 6K or 4K, and this is because they put some bigger element in it, bigger abrasive, which make it behave faster. Just to say that, because the Naniwa Shozera is a nice 3K actually, I think, more close to the maybe to the 4K actually, and the Superstone, because of its structure and the grit, it's actually maybe thinner, even thinner than 4K, and for me it's close to be a 5K actually. It always depends of what do you compare something to another. But to be sure, what I want to say is that the Superstone is a little bit thinner than the Shozera, so you can use the Superstone 3K after the Shozera. Right now I will work almost only for the hard steel. I wanted to make it clean and shiny. And this stone is amazing for that. I don't know if you see that, but the steel shine straight away. Very high shiness. So if you have any coarser scratches than 3K, with this stone, you will be sure to point it, to be sure that you can see them. This is my last synthetic stone. because of that, because I can really see if I have all clean or if I need to go and erase some scratches. Okay. And the lamination line is always a little bit difficult on a Sanmai, and the Naniwa Super is very good to clean the lamination line. So I'm reaching something good with my synthetic. I will have my bevel set and my hard steel clean. That means that now I can go to the natural. I will do a little progression, maybe 2 or 3 stones, and if I have done a good work, I will be thanks by the stones, so I will have a nice finish at the end. All right, so I'm good, I think. And I'm gonna grab my first natural stone. Okay, so this was 3K Super. I'm gonna use that stone. This is unknown. Don't know where it's from. It's Japanese, but I don't know what mine it is. It is soft and it is amazing to make the bridge between synthetic to natural stones. After synthetic, you have already some Kasumi, you have your hard steel shiny, and you have your iron dark, alright? And what you want is something more subtle, meaning you want your hard steel maybe a little bit more even color, a little bit more blurry, a little bit, meaning the white is not with visible scratches, but actually a bit like scratchless finish. And about the iron, you would like it all very contrasty, and you will grab a softer stone, or you want something with a lot of details, and you will have to get a finer, harder stone. Let me clean again this. Tidying a little bit the place. This will go there. So I'm working with fresh water, and I've put some basic stuff in the water, so I'm sure it's not acidic. Okay. So I should flat a little bit the whetstone first, because it's a soft stone, so it tends to be to dish a little bit. Okay. Don't flatten too hardly on your naturals. They are precious. You can sometimes just flatten just to see where are the lowest spots, and so you can work around instead of just putting it perfectly flat. Sometimes you need really flat stone, so you will have to flatten the stone, but sometimes you don't. Okay, so from now I'm not crossing again my scratches. I'm gonna work in the final direction I want my polish. That means longitudinal, with a little bit of diagonal in it, to be honest. Diagonal offering me a little bit help to do the convexity. So this is quite a soft stone. It's perfect to do the bridge. It's very fast and very soft, so it will blend a lot. It will clean the iron very fast, and it will make a scratchless finish, not visible scratch finish on the hard steel. I don't put that much pressure. Here I'm working on the hard steel. That takes a little bit because hard steel needs time and abrasion in the mud to be polished. Iron is much faster to polish, also much faster to scratch. All right. So straight away I have a superb contrast, and I have a nice even color. I'm trying to find the angle, sorry. Okay. I can work a little bit more, cleaning the stone, so avoiding some little grit contamination, always cleaning my hands, my blade, and my stone, so everything is clean, and I can start again. Okay, very nice. And let's do the other side. Donc là, je suis en train de travailler sur une pierre naturelle. C'est la première pierre que j'utilise. Elle est tendre, elle est très rapide et elle me permet de faire le pont entre les synthétiques et les naturels. Elle est elle fait pas mal de boue, ce qui permet d'être vraiment rapide sur l'acier dur. Donc là, je suis en train de vraiment d'essayer d'avoir le poli le plus propre et d'enlever le plus de rayures possible avant de passer à une pierre plus fine. Ok. Donc là, c'est un premier passage sur le biseau. Je regarde un peu ce qui se passe. Ça m'a l'air joli. On va essayer de travailler un petit peu plus sur l'acier dur. So first view was good. The bevel looks alright. And I just need to work a little bit more on my hard steel so I can have the most even color I can have with that stone. Okay. And I can check for scratches just to be sure that there is nothing bad, nothing too coarse on the hard steel. Okay, that should be it. Even, sorry for the light, but my light is quite strong, so in video you have some difficulty to see the things, but yeah, I got a very strong contrast and the scratches are not that much visible on the hot steel, quite visible on the iron. Okay, I'm gonna use another soft stone, but this is much finer. It's not like crazy soft, but it is soft stone, about 3.5 maybe. I'm gonna just lap it with the 400 Atoma. Okay. And doing the same game about just refining my polish and cleaning all the scratches, having the cleanest hard steel possible and having the cleanest iron possible too. Okay, and it's looking very good. This morning I was doing a smaller knife. It was like a 14 centimeter petty, and on a 14 centimeter petty with a nice taper and yeah, bevel shaped with the stones, it's very, very difficult actually to get an even shape, even bevel, because the angles are changing very, very, very fast, and you need the best of your technique to make them look good actually. Okay, so this is a little bit lighter color, little bit less contrasty, but I'm starting to have some more details in the iron. Gonna do the other side. Using Chris Bone Knives is asking what ratio between cold steel and cladding I'm making my knives. Do you mean before the forging? What sort of thickness I'm taking at the beginning before forging, right? Well, this sort of information is confidential. No, well, to be honest, it depends the knife and it depends the material. You won't use the same proportion if you're using a harder clad compared to if you're using a softer clad, and it's not the same proportion if you're using a tungsten steel and if you're using a simple carbon steel. It's not the same proportion if you're making a Giotto and if you make a cleaver. So it's always depending of what you're making. It's not a simple recipe. And it's also depends the way you forge, the way you grind. So it's a very difficult question, and if I give you any answer, it doesn't mean it will work for you. But the answer is about the same proportion. It's, for me, it's always turning around about 666, so 6 millimeter of cladding on both sides and 6 millimeter steel in the middle. But sometimes it's more thick on the cladding and sometimes it's thinner on the cladding depending of what I'm working. Okay, the iron is beautiful. I will have to make some good picture with it because it's beautiful. I need to show you. And this stone is not very hard, so it's not going to show all of it. I need to use a finer, harder stone, but I'm gonna try to show you that. Okay. Can you see a little bit? Right here. Sorry for the camera, but well, it looks amazing. I will make nice picture of the knife. Okay, so let's go to the final stone. And this is my golden joyau, or you say that? Well, it's a golden diamond. Well, it's a very, very nice stone. I got that since maybe 3 months. The stone is a Nakayama Suita. It's very very sought after, you say that? A lot of people are looking for those stones. It's not easy to get. They are the finest and still very usable stones on knives. When you're using harder stone and finer stone, it's difficult to use the knives on it because it will grab the iron and you have to work very, very, very gently. So with those stones, it's possible to work. Okay. Best is not to scratch the knife at that moment. It's difficult. The stone is good and quite easy to play, but I can still have some particles on my hands, on the stone, on the knife, and I need to always double check at that moment that there is no shit on whatever. For example, I got shit on my tape. I really need to check that. Okay. I'm going super gently so I can really see where the stone touch and avoid some scratches, and I try to hear how the stone works. So as you can see, I'm going super gently actually. And I'm going part after part of the bevel, not doing actually the entire bevel straight away. I got bad scratches. Okay. So go back to that soft stone. I think I'm gonna lap the Nakayama a little bit because there is some Su right now, and looks like it's scratching my knife. I try not to lap the stone too much, but I think I will need to. I think I'm gonna finish with that softer stone right now, and I will try the Nakayama after I will have lapped the stone a little bit more, because right now it's not working with its full potential. So I'm putting a little bit more pressure and this little bit more pressure on the softer stone, it's giving a little bit more lighter color, and it's showing a little bit more what's in the iron. This stone is a sweetheart, and it's unknown mine. It's not Atagoyama. The seller guess is Oto Wayama. Am I good? Yeah, I think. Omoteyama. The guess of the seller is Omoteyama, but there is no stamp. There is nothing that can determine that it's a true Omoteyama suita. But yeah, this huge brick is a soft suita. It's amazing stone. This is part of the big investment I've done last year. And I think I'm good for today. I'm gonna show you the finish. Okay, I will maybe do a little bit more tomorrow. Maybe we'll try the Nakamayama, because after lapping it will be amazing for that iron. But still, this side is pretty amazing. Let me show you. I'm gonna reverse. Okay. Sorry, I tried to show you my best, but it's not easy. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, so the knife is done. I will do a little bit of cleaning here and here and here, and maybe the bevel one last time. Also cleaning a little bit the tang, and it will be ready to set on its handle. This one is a custom order, so not available, sorry. Pretty great blade. The ask from the future owner is a very strong spine here and very strong taper to get a very fine tip. So at the end you get a quite a strong bevel here at the heel and a very fine bevel here at the tip on one knife. So yeah, quite happy with it. And if it's finished, maybe I will do a post about it tomorrow, maybe. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you've seen a little bit more about my process of polishing a knife. As you can see, it's taking quite some time, and it's good to be as strict or rigorous as you can when you are at 1K. Be confident to go back to 400, it's not clean enough. Then go to the 1K, get the most clean bevel you can, and then do your progression 3K, 5K, synthetic, and then go play with the natural stone. Okay, this is a right angle, sorry. Yeah, go play with your natural stones, and yeah, enjoy that. Have a good day. Goodbye. Cheers.